Welcome to Cyprus House, and thank you for joining us tonight for this very special event. We are already near the end of January, but allow me to wish you Happy New Year. A little bit delayed, of course.
Sorry.
Yes, but just as heartfelt, and it's even late in that one. May 2025 be a year of health, hope, and beauty for each of you and your loved ones. This event marks the start of what promises to be a full and vibrant season of cultural events. Together, we will explore the richness of Cypriot heritage and celebrate its deep connections to the world through art, history, poetry, music, and storytelling all over the UK. Tonight is just the beginning of many opportunities to connect, reflect, and celebrate together. It is a privilege to introduce tonight's highlight, the performance and exhibition Digital Diaspora, Poets in Conversation. This work, inspired by the themes of displacement, heritage, and intergenerational resilience, draws us into the worlds of two extraordinary artists, Dr. Alev Adil and Maria-Sophia Christodoulou. Dr. Alev Adil is a Cypriot poet, artist, academic, and critic whose work has been celebrated across the globe. Her poetry, eloquent, timeless, and deeply rooted in cultural memory, has been taught in universities, featured in galleries, and translated into 8 languages. Her art has found homes in collections and exhibitions from Tate Britain to Nicosia, and her writing bridges cultures and generations. Joining her is Maria-Sophia Christodoulou, a British-born Cypriot poet and PhD candidate, whose deeply personal and evocative poetry explores themes of identity, family, and intergenerational trauma. Her work, whether performed on stage or displayed as part of artistic installations, seeks to unearth the stories that connect us across time and space. As I reflect on their work, I'm reminded of the words of Kypros Chrysanthis, who wrote, "No matter how far I wander, Cyprus will remain my roots, the pulse in my veins, the soil of my dreams." Tonight, through poetry and performance, we will be reminded that our roots can anchor us in this temporal world, and that art can serve as a bridge between the past, present, and the future. So without further delay, it is my honor to welcome this remarkable artist on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Alev Adil and Maria-Sophia Christodoulou.
She emptied the suitcase on the table, a worn shoe, a broken necklace, chicken bones. "All my world," she said.
It's the season to remember. Bones are unforgiving. How do we move from violence?
Are you asking me? Or yourself? Or is there someone else? Whose name dances unspoken on your lips?
Think I'm asking you. Maybe myself too.
Oh, I'm asking myself too. Or the ghost of me dancing, 1 foot bare, 1 foot in a broken shoe.
I can see your rhythm. I have wasted Sundays not witnessing.
A knot in my throat, not words, or nausea rising. The calcified remains of memory that is not language. The body remembers, gagging.
In every memory, the body sees forgery and live in its own time, a painful lump of existence.
A quiver of arrows, the quickening pulse, the new spring in your step, every time you fall in love.
We turn to love to have hope in humanity. Humanity, love, is fading.
Everything noble in me is feral, mammal, for love, loyalty. Fuck the filthy Anthropocene.
I hate being human being.
Howl, howl, howl! And I'm not just quoting.
Soul death is real.
I just want to hide in my room, roll baby animals in my media feed all day, hide from the ongoing genocide. Oh, where do they find all the baby bunnies, the little Siberian flying squirrels? Did they steal them from their mummies for the algorithm?
The algorithm has killed our awareness.
I want to tell you my secrets, but the algorithm knows me better than I can myself. Who is the me chased down, hidden in the ads for chub rub pants, 30-day war Pilates, and microbiome diet pills? Something of my soul in there?
Your soul is everywhere. We always search in dying places to feel the most alive.
Ah, now I understand. That's why you love me.
Worship.
We worship graven images, shipwrecked goddesses, and silent stones.
We become what we worship. I fear silence.
Is there safety in noise?
Safety in the idea. Without noise, our bodies are obvious.
Naked in silence. Oh, how. And beautiful. Obvious and beautiful bodies.
How rude of me to miss our conversation. Life stops art.
Art is life, if you let it in, one glass of water at a time, eyes like shattered windscreens.
It becomes what we stand for.
A drive-by shooting on a deserted motorway.
Is that how art makes you feel?
A character assassination at the Last Chance Cafe. I am the art assassin. It's how I make art feel.
Shoot me!
With a telephoto lens.
And when you take my picture, I turn to ash for a brief moment.
A frozen moment of fire.
How still can you stand when burning?
Raised fields behind me, burnt effigies, the little match girl immolated by her innocence, waiting now for the rainy season and the benevolence of trees.
The trees know me, know my resistance.
Is hope a blessing or a curse?
Everything is somewhat cursed.
Glow in the dark, lime green kisses, salt-rimmed glasses. I don't bite my nails, but I nibble the skin until my fingers bleed.
Performing rituals, healing powers.
Healing rituals, performing power.
Performing power, solid anarchy. We are great together.
When will the war end? I want to be happy.
End is dreaming on laps. We stick our hands into another life. We take their everything.
I'm moving on. I'm going under.
How far under?
Coming down from a high, a no mighty perspective, a measureless fall, gone to earth.
Woven into everything natural.
The warp and weft of breathing.
It's so hard when you have too much to think about.
The sky is not thinking, blue or otherwise.
A luxury to not think over the blue.
Weirded out and wired, neon pink promises where it's always night.
There is fire under ourselves. We can see now.
The sun was setting and I dropped the ball. I lost count of the number of days, slipping like silken water through my hands.
Grateful for taboo of time.
Unraveling the embroidery of borders. She died unexpectedly, slipping while trying to gain a better view of a full moon.
What happens when the full moon dies unexpectedly?
Exactly and unexpectedly, suddenly slipping into soft darkness, gone.
And yet, we are still searching.
Swimming in the rain.
I will always never make it.
Raw with hoping.
So much state of the world. Hoping is unlearned.
What crimes have been committed in your name?
Is it fear that stops us every time?
Please make your way to the departure gate.
Slap my wrist. I deserve no kindness for absence. My absence is consumed by death clips and burning. How do we keep returning alive?
I saw a burning man. He comes to me in dreams, but my waking tears cannot extinguish the flames.
I saw him too, and see him in every man I meet, and know, and am supposed to love.
The thin thread between life and death.
We are constantly sewing,
Pinning our hearts on our sleeves and our hopes on connection.
and connection is what we long for. How much time do we have?
And that's where our conversation ended.
It did, and we got that.
There was a capsule of time that was over from August basically until November. We tried to make it every day, but sometimes we missed a few.
Mostly my fault. I'm not very consistent with it. But it kind of reflected every moment, didn't it? Because obviously there was times where it kind of, that period is like what was happening in the world. And it was reflected in our conversation. But it's kind of nice that there were gaps.
So, you know, maybe you also saw the Burning Man in your feed. You know, it's very full with the genocide and the traumas of the genocide as well. So, and it's a kind of diary and about connection and friendship.
Definitely. Collaboration.
And now we're both going to read our individual poems. I'll read for 10 minutes, then Maria-Sophia, then me again for 10 minutes, and then Maria-Sophia. And then we'll open out for any observations, discussions or questions, if you want to, if you'd like to. And then we can mingle with drinks. So now you get a chance to hear, do we sound different on our own?
Yeah, that'd be
How
interesting.
do we sound? So I'm going to read one long poem called Moving Spaces. And this is a poem that I wrote. I was born in Cyprus and grew up there until I was 10 or 12. And then lived in different countries. And then I moved back to Cyprus in 2017. And then since 2019, 2020, I've been going backwards and forwards. I'm not projecting enough, sorry. Project more. So I've been going backwards and forwards. So this is called Moving Spaces. And it's also about the heart. Our heart. We are moving spaces, starships of light, breath breathing in, breath breathing out, a warm systolic beat. We are moving spaces, traveling through the sea of time in the element of air. We bring messages written in the epoch of fire. We are moving spaces, each one of us carrying within them a small subterranean sun, a fragile yoke of energy. Starships of light traveling through the sea of time, each one of us, breath breathing in the element of air, breath breathing out. We bring messages, a warm systolic beat in the epoch of fire, a fragile yoke of energy. We are moving, each son of us, starships, each one of us, a warm systolic beat. Starships in the time of us, and we carry within each one the city and the sea, the mountains and the sky, the named and the unnamed. I built a bridge of words, and when the tide rose and turned, it became a raft, and I drove it through the storm with the full sails of my heart. The craft took on a life of its own. It became a whale, a home of words, a living vessel strong enough to carry me, to care for me, a whale of peace, a whale of space, a whale of safety through the skies, over the seas, I am breathing you. You are breathing me into being through living memory. My heart, oh, my heart. My heart is a muscle. My heart is a pump. My heart, oh, my heart. My heart is a parachute, a tight little fist of silk that balloons and dances dialogically. A gorgeous jellyfish in the sea of sky. Our names written in water, our names consumed by fire, and all the names of all our gods are carved in stone. They remind us to suffer. They command we be happy. Peace at home, peace in the world. Our forefathers spoke. But where are the mothers? Where are the others? The sons of the mothers? And what of their daughters, the dutiful and the prodigal ones, their names written on water, their names consumed by fire, and all the names of all the beloved engraved on their lover's soul? Each incantation trembles in the air and ripples in the ear. Each molecule of breath of yours and mine, and also ancient unnamed ones in our mouths, in our chests, in and out again. I am in the dead of night, the living dead of the moon, remembered, full, then paired to a crescent on dark water. The moon remembered, reflected in the deep waters of a well. And all this happened in a dream? That's all there was. And the whispering of the palm trees, the scent of the orange blossom. There was something I wanted so much to say. That is to say, so much. I wanted more than I could say, bear more than I could bear, losing so much more, and still wanting long after waking. I have to believe in many times, a love story for each name, and all the 99 names that would return the beloved to the lover at the end of the world. I became her, the woman in the mirror I called I. Just for a moment, this projection in an empty room, the film it shows about a stolen fresco and the rumour of a woman compiled from surveillance cameras and instant messages. I'm running late, call waiting, the line is busy, the train departs, the plane arrives, baggage expected, baggage delayed. So much that it's gone. These are the cities, and here am I saved. Where lie my lost ones? And I in ruins, a simulacrum with a libido, a shadow with a memory projected on a wall. The room is the camera, the empty room within you. After a measureless interval that is the end, and then the beginning, there is a cold full moon. There is a fight towards the light. 7 times 7 wild children. An urchin crowd, an implacable feral orchestra of thieving, catapult-wielding orphans, and a silken bolt of night-dark sky, and thousands of stars are emerging from within me in a tornado of splintered chandeliers. A full moon and an inheritance you thought you had lost are now returned to you. He is a silhouette against the moon, his face obscured, yet his every gesture as he reaches towards me is a gentle spell. The fist permanently clenched around my heart unfurls and an extraordinary lightness fills my chest. relief, letting go, a scatter of planets and new beginnings, this release from a long exile. The life within unfolds its seasons of chance and consequence, of destiny and duration. The room within the body, those brutal rooms that confine and contain, those beautiful rooms that render every random gesture symbolic, pose and poise. The room within the house within the heart without a body, the body beyond its form, beyond the name that is a face. All that disappears in silence, becomes a movement, barely discernible perhaps, if it's already getting dark. An open gesture, a light touch as the gaze slides towards the window. Time to close the shutters now. The land we live in and the land we left behind. We are moving spaces, hurtling through time, the named and the unnamed, in a wail of peace at the end of the world. I have come back, here in the wail of peace. The word is God, the moment of impact, the life within. The poem is a spell, the word carries you, your voice, and the things you cannot say that barely ripple the surface. The life we live, the life within, and the life we left behind.
Kind of feels like poetry slam now, so I've got to go against you, which is not what this is. Amazing, thank you, Alev. Thank you so much.
It's not a competition.
No, it's not a competition, unless there's a prize. So I just wanted to start by reading a poem from my pamphlet that came out in 2022 by Outspoken Press called A Disbelief of Flesh, because it's actually my yaya's birthday today, and when I was writing this, she passed during COVID, so I'm going to read the poem that's basically dedicated to her. Grieving. Have you felt the flesh of it all? Pushed your hands into soft bread until you see your prints? My grandmother was never the type to grind her teeth or weep from her stomach like bad eggs on an ugly Sunday in church. In church, there are so many of her, clutching her dust leather handbag, her shopping totes carrying milk and melons, tucked between each swell of her feet. Her long skirt filled with coffee-coloured petticoats. Her blazer pinned with a bead-eyed insect brooch. Her hair cut short, swept to the side. Her smile, which for a moment makes us wonder if tomorrow never happened. And then the next few poems I'm going to read is from my new stuff, which is looking at intergenerational trauma in the Cypriot diaspora. So I'm going to start with a poem called Clinical Interview in Poem, a transcript of patient response. Trauma is screaming, Fresne, the sea whips my stomach, grief exists in knee creases. Grandmother searches the ground for mother, she does not miss her homeland. Spits in her sleep, recurring dream. House worship, a jobless serpent. Burned olive lined with Eleftheria children. Play baptism, bear witness on shoulders. Men wear their fathers. Unseeing absence, he digs under his son. Is taken. Picked fruit sweetens a hiss from a stranger. Play death between fingers. The room has no reason to speak. Swears in bodies, heal the math, who shortens my name on fire. Fishhook lips, wave from island to millennia, is made by marks of movement, remain nameless in sky, recovers my tongue pregnant in a hurricane love, Anthem error. Scrape a beautiful man who cries hot blood. The sound you will end with a tear lives in the fold of an ear. The mess of you waits for the house to salivate its walls to your gums. Blame an unborn face in glass, a person of God with my top off. In the smallness of islands, unfound the sea cannot murder my reflection. Intruder, leave me. The next poem is called Namesake. Under my sockets, Vafia, she says, married at 16 to a man who left her with my father low in her belly. Menglaze, see me coming, see us coming. Push, this is distance. Fingers into her pupil. Think of my mother copied into her weight like spoiled hands. Wax baby after Aiden Mehmet Ali. My father takes me to church, wax in my mouth. I plead, I mean, my womb, an offering to gods, bloating my upper arm. How long have I been drifting, Father? Take me to church. Wax in my mouth. Outside, women hold wax children's torsos, heads, arms, legs, repeated law. I've waited for mother. Touch hand of priest to bring his finger in holy water, cross, wax forehead, yellow connects the sun. God glow heals my wrist heart. I promise to self-fire in front of free buildings. No longer need skin stealing candles from church to lights around me, waiting, the difficulty of living. Theophanis, I may have found you. In memory of Theophanis Karalambos Nicolaou, my second cousin twice removed, and all the unknown and missing patients of the Athalassa Psychiatric Hospital, Nicosia, Cyprus, 1964 to 1974. Theophanis, I may have found you, to cure you. Terrible water no longer cools for your mother. Man mountain, I miss my mother. High as gods, pulled trees from roots the hand I will see when I meet. Time was absent. Your bombed body hung over debris, a torso. They took my arms and legs. Asleep, more distant than distance. You cannot hear me. Colonizer guilty of fucking up our dance moves, of grave songs and bloodletting children, to detach the Levant from their dying. Textbooks carve short names on breasts who can't move, trapped hips to burn in double fire, trigger the meaty head in a mother who is absent. Please watch me, no longer Sifter Delhi. Dear Cypriot diaspora of mine. In simulated steps, you drip feed a fire extinguished face. Take the enemy into enemy land that never sees the sun or looks you in the eye. Scalping mountains for the dog in every photo. Abandon the rule like a father's goddess, talking down her skin. And I'll save the others for a bit. Thank you guys.
Thank you. So I definitely knew that I was going to read that first poem because, you know, it's about Cyprus, it's a big Cyprus poem. And then I thought, what do I do for the second part? And I thought, well, I did the heart, so now I'm going to do breathing. And this is a poem that I did a project around dreaming, research and collecting people's dreams. And so this is about dreaming. So if you're a little bit tired, feel free to close your eyes and just drift with this one. You know, like you don't have to be listening analytically, just drift. Oh, your snores are so sweet, it would be fun. I'm breathing in a long breath. I am conscious. I am breathing in a long breath. The dreams of machines. I am breathing out a long breath. I am conscious. I am breathing out a long breath. The wisdom of dreams. This process is spontaneous. It is not directed or controlled by any agent or subsystem inside or outside the brain-mind machine. Self-organization is a process where some form of macro order or coordination of knowledge arises out of the micro interactions, that is to say, the dream thoughts and conjectures between the components of an initially disordered system. I am breathing in a long breath. I am conscious. I am breathing out a long breath. Dreaming is a complex, fractile-like system, mapping in the collation, classification, and creation of knowledge. In the dreaming process, these extended connections are created unconsciously with self-organizing associative processes at work. The issue that is being addressed is that of introducing chaotic behaviors in the dreamlike phase in order to generate wisdom. I am breathing. I am conscious. I am breathing. Breath is the bridge that connects the breath body and the dream body. I am running up the down escalator. I am walking down the up escalator. This side is for walking. This side is for standing. Standing room only. This side is for walking. What is the wisdom of dreams? Close your eyes. Open your hand. Imagine an egg in the palm of your hand. Feel its weight. Warm, fragile, smooth. Is it small, like a partridge egg? Large, as an ostrich egg? Feel it. If you hold it gently, if you wait, it will hatch. What is being born? And even in my sleep, I hear the shearing of the silence, as well as the sense of sentences. Words are sounds, and sounds are more than I can feel, and always wake up with a fragment of planetary music, blistered on my tongue, but burnt beyond explanation and recall. Something lost, but nothing broken. Shadow, water, dust. A tangled skein of thoughts I can't let go of. The sentences I repeat without conclusion. The silence remains unbroken, but thought done, here and then gone again. Fearing, then hoping for an end. Shh. The silence does not yield. No footsteps coming up the path. The invisible mender is not here to weave the torn gestures together, unwind the wound. Oh, how we lived then, the dead speak. I don't understand the ancestors. Something about the sea. Lost at sea? They kept strange talismans. I am their archon now, animal love, mammal embrace, right bare breath, to keep disappearance at bay, fading print, ghostly projection, the lunatic asylum that is family. My grandma comes to me in dreams, asking gently, "Did they cut off my leg?" "I'm so sorry, Granny." "Yes." I steal through the night, the dreams of strangers sleeping that cataract the silent sodium-lit suburban streets in the small hours. That miniature secret time that swallows us whole but remains so small that angels wear the minute minutes like jewellery or destiny, sparkling at their earlobes, at the napes of their downy necks, as they whirl like dervishes, as they dance on the heads of philosophers' pins, unpicking all intentions, all our best efforts coming apart at the seams in incomprehensible dreams. Neither analysts in their foreshortened hours, nor even meticulous cartographers can delineate, weigh, or measure the stranger dreams that I collect, that I steal, tired and terrible dreams and sweet imaginings. I trace the routes they take, the forgotten streets of cities that never existed, lost cities where I have never been, although I am their refugee, although their street maps are engraved in the palm of my hand. Spiders' webs, spun sugar, all dissolve in the saline rain of waking. The forest crept and multiplied until the inevitable encroachment became an invading army of mighty oaks and lanky poplar trees. Sycamore, elm, eucalyptus, filling the avenues, swarming the motorways. Vines snake the street lamps, tug at telegraph poles and pylons, while ivy forces open windows, picks every lock, a verdant shadow falling across the deserts of the real. The empty open plan offices with their banks of blind windows, the endless anonymity of hotel corridors. No traffic now, only the leaves playing the wind for a fool. The garage forecourt is an orchard now. What fruit we'll harvest next summer? They'll have to make new maps. Without them, how will we find each other? Shall we live in the trees, jump from bough to bough, high on the suspension of disbelief? We'll press on further into the darkness, marking the path with breadcrumbs. Despite knowing there are no witches to fatten us up, no swan to take us home. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chair. I just have my back to this. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Alev. And this whole project has been, I've never really collaborated in terms of poetry before, so it's been quite an honour to do this and now be here in the High Commission and presenting it. So thank you very much. I'll just read a few more. So, and I poke my tongue into the whole of my history in memory of Lysandros Piparas. To find myself, Diaspora Island, the vibe becomes porous. Lace on bodies, look how good we survive, our comfort taboo. My throne, Sejuk, we sit together and love. Did you bleed green too? Feel our baby existence in chaos. Powers loosen our minds. Am I real? To die found. Most of life happens behind us or has happened in a different colour, after Anthony Anaxagoras. You taught me to hunt, like watching a dead lover, turn into another face and tell me life is a cheap ceremony. Each word, skin on skin, survival, in thin letters. I rename my birthday, wish the rings off my fingers, bless the lines of my scalp, bear, tell me if you see through. Can you touch bone in this anemic house, where family pull hair from my arms? In a wet sheet, God is born, and we are oily. And thus we wait the fate after an asylum seeker from the reception centre for asylum seekers outside Goffinov, for security reasons, name not given. Acid home. How many times can something burn inside yourself? You cook for 3 and eat needles until you are split, wearing needles. Breathe in stale cake. This is the life. The sound needs switching on. How long have you looked, slapped in oil, screaming from a balcony window? Separation is a feeling you live with forever. You cannot make a swan die, but people die all the time. You dream of a resisting church where dogs make love under candles. They store severed heads, and the wood is sticky. We stay in lines, in holes. Freedom strangles your child. Stop using your tongue to print 3-dimensional suffering. Family took Daddy away from the flesh-eating colony. Experience fat trees and creamed legs. You forget, loss is a turbine. Spin your head round and snap. Androgyny country. Your belly in a fruit bowl. You take the hands of chairs and smudge the future. Count the calendar backwards. Look how pretty my face is. Look at my face. Please look at where I'm forgotten. A boiled egg deserves its softness, and we have fallen between water. Gaps absorb me like a human scrub my parts into a fresh, nervous system. There are so many ways to emerge from this bathroom. In feathers, in blood, in 32 missing languages. In the fur of summer, a roommate screams. A head shot in the space moments after your death. Before anyone knows, your eyes have closed. For a finale, 6 security men will take you to a cement room to keep you there until. As you speak, there are the things. Placement is a fragile contest today. You will not wake up to count her fingers eating a candle. Today, you yearn for a subtler gut, sticks out a temporary space which can infect your crown. Today, in your last mouth, we become cures. For today, where you learn to come back to yourself. Have we come back yet? Therapy becomes my conditioner on a Thursday. Chai without the dirty ends. A preservation process to feed my human sleep. With no name in martyr. I believe in wet languages. To remember a childhood, its small dirt, a goat's back, is fertile. Tell me, young mountain, have we come back yet? To burst our mouths into these burst mouths. We are staying and forever, a Palestinian proverb. We are here now, an olive village bruised in her stump. Please do not overtake. Mother, look at me alive. Inside your misery, plant as a question. The spirit's coming. You are invited without sucking. Others survive my inferiority. For sale, how our mouths folds into sickness. When a child wakes in the next room, comes to floor level, land exit from inside this holy ground. The night has eaten, a desecrated meal. How are the trees at this time? Naked. Can we see through? Another way to preserve muscle, tissue sticks like blood, stains another growth patch. Nothing is unlearned until it is too late to begin. Before the sun eyes us up. We are so good at breathing, like golden pumps. Our lungs have found freedom. We are shown how to plait flowers. Imagine dressing in tiny petals. This could be survival. We die in our faces. Did everyone feel this? Need to quiver our neck chains. Hang in memory of land unheld, in pauses, pushed towards the end of us. And this final poem is part of the last section of the book, which is going to be a manifesto. So it's Decolonising Trauma, the manifesto for the Cypriot diaspora and beyond. What we inherited. Sedated lines stuffed into children's mouths. Remember how far a hand dug into our chest and took. This is how we began our lives, in skin beds. Nothing is stitched beneath the covers. Old blood listens to death hair on floors. Maps scream to be touched. No feeling from the neck to the ground. No daddy in the trenches, but the mind bruises and fights fist first. Little fingers link to open doors. Give me all the world. Eurocentric frame forced between my thighs to cry means open your mouth wide. Swallow your country's limbo. Thank you. Okay, that was good. Sorry for that. There's a lot of trauma there, isn't there? That was heavy. But that's good. I mean, it's part of us, right? We don't want to be healed. We want to be accepting of it and understand it. And screw it all up and then throw it back at you. So I think we're opening the floor to a Q&A. If anyone has any questions.
Or observation.
Or anything they want to say. Yeah. You're the only one with your hand up, so.
Yeah. Thank you both. Really lovely, and it's really nice and very interesting to hear your different styles of delivery, which I always find really fascinating. And so thank you for sharing that. And I love that it's always from the heart. My question actually is, how did you two come together, and how did you begin the collaborative process that clearly you love? And you know, how did that one work?
Well, it was February last year, wasn't it? And I was in Cyprus with my dad, and I told him, can you take me to Nicosia, because there's this exhibition I want to go and see with Alev Adil in it. And, you know, he moaned, he was like, oh, I hate driving, because we were in Fernand, I was so Famagusta, so he was like, I do not want to drive all that way, and I'm like, you're going to drive me. So we drove, and it was raining, but he did it, and I kind of turned up at the gallery, didn't even make an appointment, and I just obviously was not expecting to see Alev there, but I've gone in and you were there, and you just kind of were so nice, and I was just this embarrassing, like, kind of like, I have the book, can you sign it? Like, and you had your exhibition going on, it was amazing, and it was just crazy, and yeah, I guess that's how I know how we met. And we were very lucky, and it was crazy.
I have photos. I got.
Yeah, please don't get them out. No. I was very discussing that day, but yeah, it was. You look great. You look great today. But yeah, it was. That's the way we met, and then. I mean, this was your idea to collaborate.
I love collaboration.
Yeah.
So in fact, the exhibition that Maria-Sophia came to was an exhibition that took place. It was two sites, a small gallery called Korai in the south, and a small gallery called Art Space in the north. And they were like 10 minutes walk away. from each other. And this exhibition was a collaboration with a Turkish-speaking female artist called Aslı. But I love collaboration. I love the third thing that comes out, but also I love it for itself as a way of friendship. And in fact, in the audience in the front row is the writer Ahmed Hussein, and I've written a collaborative short story with him, which has been, I mean, he's really critically acclaimed anyway, but this story has been especially critically acclaimed. And again, it's that third thing that comes out between the two of us. So we talked about doing a collaboration. And we talked about doing something at a festival that you actually did, the Diversity Festival, where you did an artwork.
Yeah, I did like those road sign things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I did this thing for Diversity Arts Festival that was in Lefkosha on the north end. It was basically like poetic lines, but in the form of Cyprus road signs, and then I just kind of illegally stuck them all over the city and got a lot of frowns and a lot of brick down, but there's some of them are still there. So, but yeah, it was kind of like that, and then but that happened really quickly, and I didn't expect it to, and then we still hadn't.
And you put
done it.
And you put a sign up in the street where I was born.
Yeah,
that was amazing when you sent the photos.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do a collaboration, but we're both busy, especially Maria-Sophia, because she's a teacher. Being a high school teacher is a really full-on thing in austerity Britain. It's a full-on thing. You're a teacher, you're a social worker.
But the kids are all right on the whole. They are great.
So and then I'm doing different things and backwards and forwards, so it's really difficult. And we kept like messaging each other. And then I thought, why don't we do it over Messenger? So I proposed, look, we're right, and we're right every day. You know, I'll write, then you write back, then I'll write, then you'll write back. I'll write, then you'll write back. And then after a while, Maria-Sophia was kind of like dropping days, and then she'd send me, we can no longer use WhatsApp, so then she was sending messages on Insta saying, oh, I'm so sorry I haven't replied. And I was like, this isn't supposed to be homework, it's supposed to be play. So it came to a kind of natural end, and then she wrote a line, and I was like, well, why don't we just leave it there? But I really look forward to your lines, and I love that. Communication, and it was also at such a dark time of the genocide, and seeing it on our feed, and
I think it kind of became a way to kind of connect about that and cope with everything going on in Palestine, and that feeling of complicity that we have, being from an island that is being used to be complicit in a genocide of millions of people. So essentially, it became a way to
and Cyprus and England.
Yeah. Oh yes. Both massive percent.
Yeah.
So it definitely became a way of like, oh my god, I've just seen somebody just, set themselves on fire, and then I just kind of straight away went to WhatsApp message because it's hard to talk about, and then it became a way to kind of connect with them.
So she's a beautiful person.
That's nice to meet you.
Just a quick follow-up, given what you're saying. So your WhatsApp discussion and dialogue and conversation, have you edited that for tonight?
No, that's it.
That is it.
I think there was like one message that you edited at that moment, and it actually now comes up with if a message is edited on WhatsApp.
Yeah,
I think it was because it was spaghetti. Okay? It was nothing like. And then you can even see our reaction, like if you look around, there's something of reaction there. Everything's natural, it's like.
So I might have said a spelling mistake, if I'd done a there that was wrong, that definitely the grammarian.
I just hate that it says edited now, because then it looks like they know you did it wrong. But no, really. I just when I send the message now, they know I've checked it. But it was good. Yeah.
Great. Really.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of back on it too.
Thank you.
That awkward silence, I think, means we release
want their
everybody to
wine.
have drinking.
One less helps unless you want to go last, and then
I looked at this myself, and I'm shooting for a shameless plug, but if I have missed where you combine the books, it might be of interest to people if you haven't already mentioned.
Your book
You can imagine the MC or
And there is the guy who runs the press, Outspoken Press. Big shout out for Outspoken Press, as well as publishing wonderful Maria-Sophia. Also has Anthony, perhaps you'd like to tell us about some upcoming Palestinian poets that you are publishing. Because it's great.
We published Fadi Judah as well, who is an American Palestinian poet, on Outspoken Press. The book doesn't actually have a title, so if you see it, it's just got like ellipses, is what he's called it. But that is, we had a meeting with Edinburgh Book Festival because we're trying to get him to come here in the summer, and they were like, how do you say the title of the book? And he deliberately, it's brackets, so parentheses, and then ellipses. And what that's about is he wanted to make a point about the fact that everyone talks about Palestinians apart from Palestinians. And so that book is a way of trying to create an awkward difficulty, like a silence around the discourse. So if you want to get the book, it's on the Outspoken Press. Don't give money to Uncle Jeffrey. Come to Outspoken Press.
That's where you find.
And that's where you find Maria-Sophia's book as well as a whole host of other readers.
That's it.
Yes.
I think it's time for some wine, and then you can chit chat while having wine. What do you think?
Okay. Enjoy. Thank you so much, Dan.